Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and nerdy-ass Tumblr users transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons, and critically fumble a lot. And we're not just talking about the dice today! Previously, the Cupcake Coterie befriended who turned out to be an Azamar barbarian by the name of Alice, who asked if she could come along on their trial to join the Brass Arrows. That plus Nye's errand for one of his patrons, which is going to be fun later. Anyway, the Cupcake Coterie have finished their trial to join the Brass Arrows, and by and large they were successful, largely because of said Azamar Barbarian. Unfortunately, in the process of that, she kind of got in the line of fire of pissing off Tiamat. Which was bad enough, but unfortunately the decision was then made to inform her of the nature of the governors of the various provinces of Equitas, mostly to try to reassure her that, they can actually protect you without actually asking if they would. Of course, the very next thing they did was admit that they shared that information to Governor Crea Bendis, the incredibly warlike brass dragon who runs, the province they are currently in. And she didn't like Darvin that much anyway. So she got incredibly pissed off. And then there was flailing. And that made it worse. And she sent you all away with the punishment of denying the Azamar entrance into the Brass Arrows, because it was the only thing she could think to deny that might not be problematic in a, trying to boot a black dragon out of sleepy little provincial country. So they're supposed to turn back up at midday the next day to basically put Darvin on trial. Darvin responded to this by going back to the Tipsy Pixie, getting a room, getting 3 bottles of wine. At the very least, Omaden, the day kitchen staff, has managed to get some food into him, although more than likely part of the reason there was bottle 3 was because he lost the sandwich, and part of bottle 1 because of the stress. Either way, he got absolutely snookered and is now sprawled out on his comfy bed of cushions, reeking like a winery and dead to the world. Alice was informed of the current situation by Remy and Nye. She dealt with it by going to punch things for an hour and then indulging in a little bit of afternoon delight with Remy. Nye just went out and basically went, "I miss my forest." Froseth sat on his bed in 1,000-yard stare mode and was comforted by Flitty after Flitty was done advising Nye, because this is apparently Flitty's role in life. And Hazel has been in the God's Hall at the Palor Shrine praying basically all afternoon. Which is why, after various bits and pieces, Alice informs Remy, look, I've got some stuff at the shrine as well, so I'll bring your cleric back. Chucks on whichever of her clothes are actually still in one piece and exits. We're getting on to the sun is just about setting at this point. So yeah, at around about the sunset point, Hazel, still praying up a storm, gets a hand on her shoulder. Hey. No. Look, I haven't been part of an adventuring group long, obviously. The first one died, the second one apparently accidentally fucked me over, but you guys are okay, so yeah. Point is, clerics are there not just to keep everybody alive. It's like, you're optimism, girl. You've got foolish optimism snarky bard who, he's quite positive about doing things, but he puts his foot in his mouth a terrible lot, and he's a bit too snarky to be the ray of sunshine that people need. The Dragonborn's the sensible one, but he doesn't talk enough to be a support system. Remy's glorious, but she is a snarky bitch, that's why I like her.
That's adorable.
And the Warlock Elf is... he needs some adjustment time, I think. I'm getting the impression that he is new. So very new. And, I mean, he's coping great. But he's not a support system. Clerics are support systems. Go be a support system! I passed by the bard's room and I swear I could smell the reek of wine from 20 feet! He's getting...
fix that.
Yeah, he's getting bombed off his ass. We haven't even seen the Dragonborn. He takes her by both shoulders, a little tiny shake, more of a support thing than anything else. Support them. You love them? Go love them.
Yeah, that's about what Paylor said too. Zoom.
You're welcome! From...
So, how lost do I get in the process of trying to find a Tipsy Pixie again?
I think by this point you probably know the place well enough. You've been past like 3 or 4 times. And Alzor High is not as big as Belarice was.
And you probably passed by me at some point.
Yeah, Hazel Zoom and is just seeing Nye sort of staring up at the darkening sky. It's actually a very pretty sunset, even by the standards of Alzor High. It's all in shades of magenta and mango, and shading to a pale gold at the bottom of the sky. It's one of the prettier sunsets that Nye's seen since he came out of the void. So yeah, Hazel seeing Nye staring quietly out at the sunset.
Remembering that one for later.
I am screeching to a stop. Grabbing my shoulders. We are going back now, yes?
Yeah.
Yay! Grab. Continue zooming.
Am I trying to keep up with the boots of speed?
No, she has not clicked the boots of haste.
She's just one charge of those. I'm not blowing it on this.
Yeah, she's just new, not so little dustclad, with Nye being hauled in her wake. He's probably reminded a little bit of his cousin by this. Okay, so you're back apparently at the Tipsy Pixie.
I have let go of Nye, and I'm looking for Darvin.
He's not hard to find. Basically, if you go up to the rooms, to the floor that Emil indicated, you find the door from which the reek of wine is coming.
Carefully open door.
Yeah, because I was about to say the door is closed but not locked. So yes.
I wonder how much of that is still inside him.
Upon opening said door, he was in there alone, but it looks like he wasn't, just because the bed is just really messed up.
Everything is everywhere.
Yeah.
I
And
kind of see him sprawled diagonally across the bed with his
Mhm.
head and one arm lolling off the side and one
Basically,
foot
yeah,
sticking off the other
basically.
end. Yeah.
Yeah, twitching a lot because he is dreaming pretty hard. Like obvious, like sweating. Like it looks like it's not a good dream, whatever it is. And like if not for the booze and the weight of because when you drink you feel all heavy. If he weren't for the fact that he's feeling really, really heavy, he'd probably be flailing, but he's not able to manage that, so he's just sort of.
And there's
and
three
that's the
and there's three empty bottles.
3 empty bottles. One of them knocked over. The other two, right at the foot of the bed at the corner.
1,
On the
2, 3.
I'm grabbing my symbol of Paylor, walking over, carefully putting a hand on him, and in succession casting protection from poison and lesser restoration.
Okay. I'm not gonna complain. I'm just poison. I didn't drink that much. It's not like I drank bourbon ale.
At this point, we're not sure, I bet.
Well, you
I
can see
don't
the
know,
bottles. They're right there.
Yeah, I think Hazel has wisdom enough and Nye has intelligence enough to understand that you guys don't know the alcohol content in Alzor High wine.
Ooh, good point. Well done,
And-
Hazel.
I mean, for all Nye knows, that was the equivalent of Everclear.
Never had a whole bottle. Anyway,
Either way, this probably means that the heavy feeling is removed from Darvin.
Uh-oh.
very quickly.
And the flailing happens.
Yeah.
Damn it!
No, Hazel, make me a dex save.
Yeah. And Darvin immediately would that cause me to wake up?
Well, you flail
5.
first, so
Schmack.
Darvin, roll me damage for a. I suppose it's just
Unarmed.
yeah.
And that would probably wind up being a backhand.
That
Open
part
hand,
doesn't
open.
matter so much, but
What would the damage be on that?
Unarmed is just 1 plus your strength.
oh, okay,
Oh, 1 plus your strength modifier?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 1.
So yeah, Hazel basically gets a weak ass backhand in the face and is knocked over backwards as Darvin sits up screaming.
Yep, exactly.
Oh.
So I'm just
Shush!
Froseth and Remy very definitely hear the panicked screaming.
Yep. And hands are visibly shaking, and I'm looking around like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. And probably go immediately diving for my pack and start rummaging through, trying to find paper in there.
Ow,
So
Darvin?
yeah, all you see is me just go diving for my pack. I'm just rummaging.
Something you need?
Remy's gonna let them handle it.
Remy's a little occupied.
Let's stone cold.
She's getting herself dressed and armored up. You know, unless somebody screams a second time.
Well, to be fair, she doesn't necessarily need to be armored up because you're only
She's
just getting
gonna armor
to.
up.
Okay, I'm just saying she doesn't need to. She can if she wants to. And
Well-
why am I asking this? This is Remy.
Well, and there's a big difference between like screaming active in danger and waking up from a nightmare scream. So there's a slight difference there.
Yeah, she's not worried yet.
Yes.
Besides, she's heard Darvin scream when there's actually something to scream about, and it's not.
Yeah.
On the face, on the face. You know.
In any case, I'm gathering you guys probably at least want to try to gather in the next little while for dinner, if nothing else. Although Darvin is apparently too busy pack rummaging for things he won't explain.
Yet.
What is Froseth doing while all the screaming is going on?
Um,
Well, no, unfortunately, he hasn't even been He's
no,
just been.
he hasn't even been doing that. He'd sit there for a while, listen to see if anything else is happening.
Oh, Flitty's actually still around his neck, so it's sort of, do you want me to go and look and see what's going on?
Mm. Oh, let's go.
Well, I was just gonna scout ahead so that if it wasn't anything of a big deal, you wouldn't have to move. I'll come right back and be your neck warmer. Promise.
Okay.
God, that's too cute.
As Nye is looking back at the door, wondering if he should really close it before, non-party members start charging in to figure out what's going on.
Weirdly enough, in a place like this, screams.
The only reason anyone else heard me scream was because the door was left open.
As
The walls are actually thicker than you think.
as Nye sticks his head out the door, he gets sort of Flitty landing on his head. What's going on?
We woke up the singing man.
Singing man looks a lot less floppy.
She did that.
Good for you. I don't know what he's looking for, but you might want to help him because if he still hasn't found it yet, he's probably still a little. And then sort of lands on top of Darvin's head. I imagine that he's not wearing the. So all he gets is boonk on the head, friendly little forehead butt, and then back to Sylvan for Hazel and I. I'm gonna go back and be the Dragon Man's neck warmer some more because I think he got really upset. And
So
I asked him what he was looking for, but he was too busy looking for it to answer me.
I'm going
upon
over
which
to
I finally
Darvin.
get down to the bottom and find the stash of paper that I was trying to find, just blank, and a writing implement, and start just immediately just writing writing stuff.
What hit you?
Huh? What? Oh, sorry. Wait.
You
Wait,
just hit me, by the way.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I gotta.
Don't distract the inspired bard.
Not quite what you think, but yeah, okay. And I'm just, I'm writing. Well, what's going to wind up being, I woke up and started writing what my brain told me I should say.
Flitty's response to Froseth is, well, the Healy lady made sure that the singing man wasn't all floppy and drunk. And now he's flaily and writing, we think, maybe. I don't know, he was digging for things. But once he's done, I should get everybody down for dinner, because I was talking to the Warlock Man, and the Warlock Man now has some ideas.
Okay.
Because apparently everybody is silly, and you shouldn't be listening to the fairy dragon this much. Fairy dragon should not be the ideas of your party. I didn't need to do this for anybody else. But I like you. But I like you anyway. You should go and find the Remy lady, because the sensible people should stick together, and I'm gonna go collect the silly ones.
Okay.
And
Friendly headbutt and.
I come to a pause, and I'm like, wait, is it tomorrow yet?
No.
Is it past tomorrow?
But it's the same day. By definition, it can never be tomorrow. Tomorrow's always in the future.
You know what I mean? How long was I out?
You were
2 hours. It's same day. It's the same day.
Oh, good.
I was in the God's Hall praying all day, okay?
And as Hazel pointing, Flitty lands on her outstretched finger. There needs to be food now. Because I talked to the Warlock Man. There may be ideas. If he remembers them.
Crap.
Scritch.
Find that. What?
Food!
Dinner.
Oh!
What I just said. Continuing to scritch the fairy dragon.
Well, okay.
Food and comfort. Y'all need to be
Sure.
not sulking in rooms and temples by yourselves.
Also, apparently, ideas from this one and points at that one.
Well, I was talking to the warlock man, and hopefully he's not thinking about erasing anybody's memory anymore. I'm gonna go find the Remy lady.
That was mildly terrifying. Let's go downstairs. I'm gonna grab Darvin by the shoulders and all but bodily pick him up.
Wait, I need to get my stuff.
I direct him back down towards it.
Well, you're
And besides which, I'm still mostly not dressed. Give me a minute. I'll start pulling
It's
myself
the
together.
tipsy pixie. Do you really think anybody cares that much?
The presentation. I'm a bard. It's the presentation. It's like Megamind. Presentation. You know.
And we've been let go long enough to get dressed, then grabbed again, and all but bodily dragged downstairs.
I'm
Just
just
nice left behind in the room. Looks at the destroyed bed. Looks at this.
It wasn't destroyed. It was just completely messed up. Nothing was actually broken or torn. It was just a lot of tossing and turning.
Just looks around the room and goes, I miss my forest, and heads down.
When Nye heads out, because you guys are well ahead of him, just because he's had that minute of looking around. That skinny, off-brown-haired human who was apparently named Lisa, the one that Darvin and people suspect of being related to the governor of Goldendale, peers into the room, only sees Nye, so she relaxes a little bit, and then just goes, "Please leave that unlocked. I apparently have to clean this." And walks off towards what is probably a linen cupboard and things.
Oh man, now I feel bad.
I wonder if he'll feel, that's what I was going to say. It's like, I wonder if he'll feel even worse if he comes back and it's perfectly clean. Maybe I should offer to take care of that. Maybe we
Please don't use magic in the rooms. Unless it's for fun purposes. That's the rule.
I'm in over my head again. I'm going to go find the others.
Yeah. Once he leaves, he sees Lisa turn up with clean linens and a funny sort of broom that's apparently designed for the rather intricate rugs they have. So yeah, when Darvin comes back to his room, he's going to find it spotless. And not reeking of wine.
I mean, it was only until the third bottle I spilled a fair bit. Had a drinking problem at that point.
So to speak.
Anyway, you all wind up downstairs. Dinner is actually kind of interesting this time around. They the Goliath and Gnome pair have set up this. They've set up the entire kitchen bar as a kind of buffet. So there's like little bits of classic dishes of the region. So it smells really interesting, and this time even Remy is entirely, this is new shit. It all smells quite spicy in a clean, dry sort of way.
I'm collecting portions of everything and just sort of
Hazel has this massive plate, which
separate. Like plate for a portion, bring it over. Plate for a portion. I'm basically like taxiing to assort food for everybody.
Oh, so you're basically making a smaller buffet for the table.
Yes.
Gotcha. Like Indian food.
Yep. I've decided to channel Twilly as much as possible.
Cool. In that case, Darwin's probably not going to get up because he doesn't want to accidentally insult anybody again at this point.
Yeah, it's Kezia's at one bar, Marta's at the other.
Plate in front of Darvin, pile a few things onto it, zoom over to Kezia.
Hello to you. You all look remarkably serious.
We have not had the best of days.
I understand that your bard friend, he has somewhat denuded some of our wine stocks.
Yeah, I fixed that problem, but
Shall we see to something a little bit lighter to go with your dinner?
that would be amazing. Thank you so much.
We have something like unto what they do with in Belarus, with the wine and fruit juice combination, but is different wine and different fruit juices. So she comes out with this fairly large glass pitcher of liquid that doesn't look too dissimilar to white wine. It's just a slightly darker shade of green to it. It smells very citrus, sort of lime. Slide.
Thank you, you are great. Smooch on the cheek, take, grab, zoom.
She'll tack the actual price of that onto the rest of your dinner. Because
Yeah, and
basically it's 8 silver per person, the buffet, and the wine itself is the wine itself is 5 silvers. So because that'll go fast with the really spicy food, I'm just gonna say that would make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 gold for the entire meal production, but it's an all-you-can-eat thing. So hey.
And I've also got. I grabbed one of the. We still had the water things from the
Yes.
trek, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've also got one of those. I'm supplementing because while I wasn't asleep the whole night. I did. I'm a bit dehydrated, so I'm also.
Well, you haven't
using that
even
to help
really
replenish a bit.
reached night yet. The sun has only just gone down.
Right. So it wasn't all that long, but I'm still a little parched, and yeah. So.
Eat.
Okay.
Good. Pat, pat, pat.
Hang on a second.
Nice.
Darvin-
Visibly trying to figure out what everything is.
Darvin's just. I'm taking it that when Darvin is told to eat, it's like K, eating utensil into mouth. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, because I didn't. There was no hesitation. It was just okay. Big old mouthful of something. I didn't even look.
Well, given that Hazel's been doing this entirely at random, I rolled a d20 to see the spice level at which you
Okay.
would get. You rolled a 17.
Oh lordy!
What do you feel?
Wait, why didn't it? I just. Oh, sorry. I've got the character sheet popped out. So hold on. 4.
Your face is on fire, metaphorically.
Yeah, there. No sound. Just bright red and like. Okay, there is a slight sound. Very, very high wheeze, and just like fish out of water, mouth like
Glass.
like that. And I'm just,
right in front of him.
What
you're gonna. I'm basically. I can't move yet. I can barely breathe.
Marta has sort of looked at Hazel, looked at the wine, takes out a pewter tankard, fills it with something underneath the bar, plunks it down in front of him. Drink that.
Marta gets through to him, and he just takes it. Has both hands, kind of.
It's a very rich milk. It's definitely not cow. It's very, very fresh. It's a little bit sweeter than he's used to, and again, rather creamier. But it tamps the burn.
At which point I can finally get a breath. Thank you.
He's really not built for this, is he?
When I have a chance to take a breath before I shove it in my mouth, I'm good. I wasn't. Yeah.
Given
Need to
you
slow
have
down a little bit.
given that
Thing,
you have
but
given
also-
given that you've given him one of the hottest things on the menu without
Hit?
any kind of warning or any preparation, there's only 3 other dishes that are hotter than that. And we don't generally put them on the buffet nights.
It was good, but yes, warning would have been preferred.
Yes, people
Thank
order
you.
people order the hotter bits rather special. Looking at Hazel, if some of you want to challenge yourselves to see how good or not you should expect someone to be. And
Thank
then
you.
does that regal walk back
Yep.
to the bar.
And where I'm watching the whole that I'm watching.
Which dish was that?
It's
Carefully keeping
it's,
an eye.
yeah, it's bright red.
I just point at it.
Not touching that one.
Let's challenge ourselves another night.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I will have more of that. It was tasty. Now that I know what to expect, I should be okay. Very small bites. Very small bites.
Kezia from the other end of the bar. You will see a sort of a creamy yogurty sauce with bits of cucumber. You mix those with that and with that dish and the rice, and is excellent.
Thank you. That sounds like a great
value.
idea. And I'll proceed to go ahead and do that and actually start eating. Now that I'm a bit more awake, or at least a bit more aware. I'm still not talking much, but
I'm starting to set up.
I'm just
a
gonna
bit
wait
for
until
everybody.
everybody's eaten a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sort of picking at things, everything but that one thing.
I do have the paper
Everybody,
nearby.
and at least a little bit of that for everyone at this point.
I take it Hazel is partaking.
Yes. Very
Anyone
good.
who's actually eating the spice from hell shit, make me a Constitution save.
Since roll 20 is still not cooperating.
Oh dear.
16.
Hazel loves it. Hazel agrees that the sauce Kezia has added, it suggests adding makes it better, but even on its own, I can't feel my face. This is great.
It's like the sun, just kind of in my face.
Uh,
That's perfect, Hazel. I love it.
Is Roll20 still giving you issues, Ben?
Basically, I hit launch game, and it says roll 20 loading, and it's stuck there. It may have something to do with the fact that on my end it says the game doesn't start for another 12 minutes.
No, because it's... And you're muted.
Oh, sorry. No, because you can still get in even when it says that.
Yeah, because these guys are all in, and I didn't think to change the time, so...
No, the time that it says doesn't matter. That's just what time everyone officially gathers.
Try closing the browser and...
Closed, cleared cookies, cleared cache. I'm going to go the nuclear option in a minute. But in the meantime, if I have to roll anything, I'll just point the camera at the table and roll something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was the only one not trying the stuff, so.
Well, no, he's the only one who declared he wasn't trying the stuff.
Fair.
I
Also,
rolled
it's not
wisdom
touching
on
that
that
stuff.
one and got a high roll.
First Seth has high whiz is not touching.
Hazel just likes spicy stuff, so hey.
Nye learned his lesson with the weird beer or
The
whatever.
wasabi, that's
right.
right, that was you.
The wasabi and the whatever weird beer brewed thing.
Yes, the one that Kezia calls the Rain Granary beer.
Oh,
that one,
that,
yeah.
yes. Good point.
And I take it that Remy is deciding that abstinence is the better part of valor in this case.
Yep.
So yeah, basically it's mostly just more for Hazel.
Yeah, and a little for me. Now that I know what to expect, and now that I know how to actually eat it properly.
Yeah. So you're having your meal, and apart from a moment of back to his old self when he's watching Marta head back to the bar, he is terribly quiet. Apparently, so are the rest of you.
Very, 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 very low key. Just going. I'm reading and rereading what it was I wrote.
Remy just needed to look at what he's reading.
Are you going to allow this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what
Yeah.
you seeing?
Basically, it just is. It starts with my. Actually, wait, did I scroll down? No, okay. It's 4 lines numbered, and the first one just starts with my most humble apologies for my behavior yesterday. So it's obviously a script I put together of stuff I'm planning to say tomorrow.
Okay.
So, which I can read now for.
Well, if Remy's
for,
actually reading it over his shoulder and he's not stopping her, she'd see the whole thing. So
Okay. It says, my most humble apologies for my behavior yesterday. I again let my passion get the better of my judgment, and my intent was lost in translation. 2, the decision to break the trust placed in me was mine and mine alone. Alice had no choice in this matter. I did, and I made the wrong choice. The consequences of this should be mine alone to bear. To that end, I accede what would have been my spot in the brass arrows to her. 3, beyond that, I have no defense for my actions, other than to say that I had done what I thought was best at the time. I stand by my actions, given that they cannot be taken back, and fully accept whatever punishment or recompense need be made to balance the weight of justice. 4, lastly, I see now that I have, for some time, not taken advantage of the talents and experience of those around me. If I am allowed to continue our quest, I will make certain to pay heed to much wiser counsel. And this underlined and the handwriting equivalent of bolded, looking straight at Froseth and Hazel.
Remy, once you're back on the actual screen, make me I'm trying to think if it should be charisma or wisdom. Given Remy and her skill set and how she'd be approaching it, actually make me a persuasion check.
Wait, what is Remy persuading for?
No, she's not persuading. The reason I called for a persuasion check is that while she's not persuading herself, she's persuaded enough people to know how that would fly.
Ah, okay. Full.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a nat 1.
Yeah, that seems to
Remy
work.
was going to be skeptical anyways.
Actually, no, that actually
not?
seems
Okay.
to work. She was minded to be
Okay, that's fair.
skeptical, but the first and the last bits, yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Although
boy.
it is Darvin, but you can't see anything specifically wrong with it. Of course, what neither beyond the two of you have. There's a bit that Remy's missing. That if anybody else is actually looking at what Darvin is doing, they might be able to save someone's ass. But
Well, I'm looking over kind of curiously because I remember the digging madly for paper incident.
the
Okay, so
do
Remy, gives him a look, but then just leaves him be.
Just looking
Actually,
at the
one
tipsy
second.
pixies
Let me
that
roll.
look at-
Can I roll a perception check to see if I actually notice everybody else
The
looking
audience.
actively looking at what I'm doing?
Yeah, there's only 2 people that can really be looking over Darvin's shoulder because of the nature of the tables. But yes, you
Mhm.
can.
Okay, I will do that. Just a second. Wait, wrong window. That window. There it is. Okay. Perception. There it is. That's a nat 1.
One again.
You notice.
I noticed nothing.
You notice nothing. You're apparently convinced that this is the way to go.
So, Nye, what was your idea?
Huh?
Oh, right. Yeah, Flitty said something about there being an idea of something.
Actually, I'm
I-
kind of rethinking it. As I've been hearing a bit more about this now, and you see, I was thinking that maybe that the like you said on the paper, from what little I can read, I can't read very well, but
Oh,
it's you would have to do and you would have to make it very clear that you would do a quest to be a brass arrow yourself, because otherwise it looks like you're abandoning your people, and she'd really be mad if you did that.
oh.
I'm translating this for everyone else who can't speak.
Well,
Sylvan.
here,
Thank
guys, here, and I just hold it out. Look, this is what I've got so far. I woke up and you don't even want to know what that dream hat was, but God.
Yeah, I'm.
And this is what was there. Yeah, help.
Yeah, at this
It's not
stage,
lyrics.
at this stage, at the very least, Froseth knows that Flitty has the right of it. It's not enough for him to just give up his space, because the whole reason that they had to give Darvin the space is because he's needed in this upcoming massive world-ending fight. And if he looked like he was shirking his responsibility to the world at large, the ones that name themselves as the hand of a god of justice, a dragon god of justice, no less. First reading this and it's like, okay, that first bit's okay. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no.
I'm looking and I'm saying, I'm
I
thinking
left.
you're
Okay, I left
you're
bits
still
out. Okay,
telling
okay,
her.
right. Okay,
You're telling
no. You're
her-
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I left stuff out. Help.
Oh,
Like I said, this was just quick. This is
Have
why
I
I've been going
realized
back over it and back over it and back
realized-
over it. I knew I missed something. Hell, it's not like I said. It's not lyrics. So I know I'm better when I can have a chance to write stuff down, but still not lyrics. I missed stuff. Help me.
We didn't catch what Hazel said there.
GM, have I realized what Froseth's realized?
I'm assuming he shared that with the rest of them?
Yes.
We'll leave it there then.
Okay, then yeah, I don't need to say anything.
So
Okay.
you,
Well,
you need to basically put forward that you'll need to do something else to
Well,
earn being.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's okay. Oh. I
Otherwise,
see.
you're just abandoning
Right.
everything,
Right.
which
right.
was the
right.
whole issue today.
Thank you! Somebody got it! Yes!
And the people who work for
Which hence the lost in
that
translation.
kind of deity would not be happy.
Okay. So I need to explicitly say that I did not.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. I
Well,
mean,
you
that's
didn't. You got Flitty going. You didn't say anything. You put you put your gift with the Nora lady's symbol down like you were giving it to her, and you walked away. Also, you didn't say that you told her because the Alice A lady needs protection, so there might be another idea.
We do. Oh wait, no, never mind.
Translating,
Maybe
I am
Uh,
still.
Hazel's
if she's
translating.
translating, we should eloquate better that the problem was that LSA is on Tiamat's shit list, and she didn't sign up for that. And
But
even as a brass arrow, there would be possibly more danger than even they're generally prepared for.
so couldn't
Other
she,
issue aside of the possibility of the hands of the gods at work, because
couldn't she be like an enforcer for the governors? Like a
and she could probably
bodyguard
do lots.
or something?
She
If
probably could do something very helpful.
We're
Okay.
the
Okay. So the
concern.
first part is okay. The second part. Okay. Okay. So I need to add to that. Okay.
he's going back to scribbling.
Yep.
The concern I have is we're still telling the governor what's going to happen, sort of.
No, you're asking if it's possible because I was listening and I don't understand common that well, but it sounded like she really wanted to have the Alizé lady, but she couldn't because it was the only thing that she could think of right then to punish you with that wouldn't make the singing man not be able to help save the world.
We just didn't necessarily eloquate that.
And if
We
he's
told
and if he's
Alizé,
and if he says he'll take his own punishment, so long as it's not putting an innocent person in any kind of trouble and not making him abandon the world, Savvy, then at the very least she knows that you're taking things seriously.
Right, and you're absolutely right. I didn't make that clear, but that was my whole intent. I was leaving. What I did, and I'm sorry, guys. I did totally screw that up. But my intent was here. I'm leaving this here while I go and get Alice and bring her back to then give her my spot.
Did he say that?
See,
I don't
I
know.
didn't.
I
He
don't.
did-
I didn't. Like I said, that's what that's, and I'm pointing to the page. That's the first part. I let my passion get the better of me in the moment, and what my actual intent was got lost in the translation because I wasn't thinking clearly.
you
Again,
went for action instead of word, where word
Exactly.
would have been better.
right.
There is one thing I should probably say, and I think is a part of why she was so upset that I don't think anybody thought about because she didn't mention it at the time. She actually talked about what would happen if you told anybody.
She would eat us.
All
Wait.
of you.
What?
Oh.
well,
Wait, what?
You
we
didn't
need
remember
to
that you
save
were
the
there?
world first.
I wasn't paying attention to a lot. I was too busy being terrified.
Oh, Celia, I don't think I was here for that session.
You weren't, but I think Froseth was kind of. This is dragon shit. This is how dragons are. I'm glad I am so many generations removed because this is kind of scary.
Oh boy.
Well, that bit is not on the table. So
We do not need to be someone's lunch.
I mean, if the whole point was I was being upset that I was going to abandon stuff, I mean,
What you've got is just add what we've said to add
okay.
and hope for the best. I'm gonna spend the morning at the Gods Hall again, just to
Okay.
make double sure.
So the consequences to that end.
Because, well, we've done the thing, and now you've realized what you needed to realize.
that is the thing. We can't lose sight of the bigger quest from the gods issue at hand. the brass arrows being not exactly relevant in the grander scheme of things.
Except it kind of is, because you can't hunt for what you need to if you're not one! That's why you did all this in the first place!
Yes, I mean, that's why we did it, not because we wanted to be brass arrows, but because we have to be to continue on.
Yeah,
Remy.
but then you're still telling her what to do, and you said we shouldn't be doing that!
Guys, so I said I'm adding into the second part. I will run whatever test or gauntlet or what have you to earn my own space and continue on.
If she
How's that?
says that your thingy is acceptable, the Dragon Man has a point. It shouldn't be I would like to offer a thing. It should be if you approve it. Right up front, say this is what I am offering. If that is not acceptable, then okay. But humble, really humble, not just word humble.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, okay, gotcha. I can preface the whole thing with that.
Excuse me, I want to have a bite of that really spicy food now.
Roll me a Constitution save. It's not as bad as the wasabi thing. If you think you're getting used to it.
So that was
Sweating
the bit
a
about,
little, but
so it was basically the bit about not giving up and not. There was that.
While he's figuring that out, I'm headed over to the person who mentioned the challenge level spice.
yes. Marta is just saying you want to talk to the pair at the food bar
The Goliath
and the gnome.
and the gnome.
You-
The Goliath who I accidentally insulted.
And I'm making my way over to the food bar.
And they're both looking at you a bit curiously.
I found out that you have things that are spicier than what was on the buffet.
They look at you, and it's the gnome who goes, "You really?"
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 spicier dishes. Basically, we have
The best way I could describe it is it's like the sun just in.
well, no, we have 3 levels of the spiciest. We have conflagration, we have red dragon, and we have the fire plane.
The fireplate, I love it.
This actually like 1,000-yard stare. Imagining.
Which one do you want?
I'm gonna go with the dragon thing because I want to save Fireplane for something special.
Okay, that's adorable.
I want to try it when I'm not going to need to do a really important thing tomorrow.
They pour out a bowl of. If anything, this is even more bright red. The meat in it is. I mean, it probably has to be goat because the amount of cooking that has required would turn anything else into sludge. And they hand her the bowl.
Thank you so much.
They're watching. And Hazel comes back to you can smell the spice as soon as they take off the lid.
I was going to say, is she bringing it back, or is she just going to try to eat it over there?
No, she's bringing it back to the table, where Flitty is turning himself into a flatbed burrito and eating his way out. He likes doing that. This is the first time Nye's seen it, though. It really is just nomf, roll, nomf, 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 nomf. And then Hazel turns up with... and Hazel comes back to the table with that.
What did you do?
And this isn't even the strongest thing. I'm setting it
Hazel.
down, settling in. Numph.
Constitution save.
12.
You're sweating a bit. And it's very much cleared your sinuses, but you're actually a bit red in the face, but given the level of spice smell coming off that, she should be doing what Darvin had been doing, and she's not. She's actually kind of okay.
Mm.
Oh.
Good. That's toasty.
Actually, where is Hazel
Oh.
sitting in relation to me?
That's a 1. I'm going to reach over and steal a piece of meat.
Constitution
Oh
save.
my god, is that with a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah, because his wisdom's so low, he makes his own rolls for...
4! No!
No, that's not a nat 1, because that's your modifier. If it was
Right,
a nat
that's
1,
why
it'd
I-
be red.
That's why I started to say nap. But
Yeah,
no,
you
just a
remember
4.
you remember the reaction that Darvin had? Yours is
Yeah.
worse.
Oh shit.
I mean, for a second, for a second, you literally cannot breathe.
I'm just
Martin.
handing over the canister.
Yeah,
I'm just
that-
I'm sliding the what left what of the drink I have left
yeah.
over to
He's gonna have to guzzle the entire thing down before he can even talk again.
because I only got a really good solid mouthful and held it, and then so it coated everything. 'Cause
No.
I'm just continuing.
and I hold up like actually what it was like I held up a hand to Marta and then slid the mug over so that way she knew not to didn't need to bother coming over. But then I just sort of went, "Thank you."
She's just
That's the stuff. The next time something tries to eat me, I'm flavoring my armor like that.
and all
I
of
mean,
a,
I can smell it from here. That might work.
all of a sudden it hits Nye. She said that isn't even the spiciest they have.
Wow.
And I'm basically fine. A little toasty, but fine.
Remy's known people like this. They took great pride in having the hottest things in the southern land, whose food was a slightly different level of spicy, but a different kind of spicy, but same levels. And they could eat this stuff all day. Hazel's apparently one of them. They didn't have very good times in latrines about an hour or so afterwards, however. And Hazel apparently has no idea about any of that.
She's gonna be hurting when she's at the god's hall. She's gonna be in the middle of praying all of a sudden.
And of course, Remy's not saying a word because Remy is
Nope.
Remy. And...
Remy's Remy. And Remy's just like, oh, you're gonna be hurting later. Hilarious.
Have the people at the food bar noticed that I'm basically fine?
They're money has changed hands. The gnome is actually
Apparently, bets were placed.
the Goliath hands the gnome 5 gold. The gnome takes out another 5 gold, and they both walk over and hand it to Kezia.
Win. But I can smell that from here. I'm not touching it today. If I live through tomorrow, I might.
Okay.
If nothing else, what I've got right here, will serve as a appropriate last meal.
At which point you've got Flitty sort of. You know how Hazel does the tackle hug? This is sort of a tackle onto the shoulder, wrap around the neck. No!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
What Flitty said.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Nye,
I
are
just-
you okay? I'm trying to like help Nye back up. You
I'm gonna
alright?
eat something else for a while.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Flitty. And I'm not even really scritching Flitty so much as I'm just sort of like holding. Just like I'm just holding Flitty. Just
If she wants to eat all of you, she's going to have me as an appetizer first.
and I'm literally like there were no tears when the spicy even with the spicy. Now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like if somebody don't say something, I'm gonna start blubbering.
Do I understand this? Because was it in Sylvan or in Draconic?
Usually defaults to Draconic, so no, it was only Furseth who.
I'm like, if nobody's gonna say anything, I'm gonna start bawling.
It's Froseth. Since when does Froseth say anything?
I noticed him starting to meeble.
People.
Yeah, yeah, Meeble.
Okay, clearly I didn't understand what Flitty said.
Setting aside what I'm eating, walking around to where Darvin is, and hugging.
And waterworks.
Hold on to
boy.
jostle, though, in the meantime.
Hand over the mouth though, but I'm just like water, just tears.
His little blue head peeks up over the various arms at Nye. I just said that if she wants to eat you, I would have to be the appetizer. And I will be a wonderful appetizer!
Incredibly sweet.
Trying to pet Flitty through the hug.
Let's say back in
Eventually,
Flitty.
I will compose myself.
Flitty, I'm beginning to think you're too good for us.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not yours, you're mine.
Yes,
You are
yes,
past
yes,
effort,
yes,
you
yes, yes,
are.
yes. Very much so. Okay. All right, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Hazel. Thank you, Flitty. I'm good. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. More water. Keep losing it.
And I'm settling back into my choice of ludicrously spicy food.
I'm just gonna lean over toward it. Okay, that cleared me back out. Okay, we're good. Whew.
So, is there any other bits and pieces that you guys want to discuss, whatever?
So, I mean, okay, so, guys, I do have a question. I mean, I tried to say about, okay, her argument about, because I bring up that part of the reason I told Alice what I did was that she didn't think, a governor would have the power to be able to protect her from, freaking Tiamat. So,
Well, we're all
But then
a lot
she
more
said
calmer
that-
now to explain that, including them. And Alice will be there.
right,
If she can
But-
get in,
yeah.
don't they not let people that don't want in? Even if she says she wants to come, what if she can't?
We'll ask
Mhm.
at the door, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But
Yes.
then her response to that was, "Well, then you should have waited and asked first," which is that she's right.
Can't do anything about that part now.
I just don't
I
see a
mean-
reason even to bring it up again when it's already basically been shot down. I mean, I'll say it, I'll add it in, but
It's still worth saying, just for the sake of it being said at this point.
So
oh,
that,
right,
Make
because
sure it's
because
heard.
this time it's going to be with everybody instead of and not just her.
and
So
The
we
point
need
is that we weren't being flippant about telling her. It was for a very specific reason.
right. I'm sorry, Flitty. What?
it's
You were gonna-
just that it's like the Remy lady said. I know the flippant word. You tend to be flippant.
Mm-hmm.
It's you were saying the thing like you expected that the really old, really powerful dragon lady was gonna just say, "Oh, that's okay," even though she said she'd eat you.
Right. Right. Okay.
You
I
didn't
understand. Now.
take it seriously, and then you took it too seriously.
Yeah.
Mommy lady has a word. Um, it's funny in Sylvan, but moderation.
Hmm.
Learn you some.
Hey, so you laugh. Flitty is so not wrong.
I out of character laughing.
Oh.
Hazel's just sort of sitting there trying to mouth the words herself.
You should learn some too.
I mean, yeah,
Looking
she's
over
right.
at Hazel.
I mean, yeah, I've been trying to teach Hazel the same thing I should be learning here. Apparently, I mean, I know it, but not in some ways. I got you. All right, thank you.
Boom. You're not a noble anymore. You can't act like one anymore. This is news to Nye.
And that just like you just like Darvin's expression just went from like you just saw the blood just kind of go because that's just Star Coast, Mom, Nora, all of that just shh.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stingy Man, but that's how you act.
No, you're right. Thank you.
And snuggles up a little tighter around his neck.
Now that I've finished my nuclear food, walking over to Frozen, hug.
Aww.
This is necessary.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna stay attached to the Dragonborn for a bit.
And dessert, if anyone actually wants it, is more sort of a secondary side table with a selection of little cakes. Little, surprisingly complicated looking little cakes.
Do those count as cupcakes?
No, they're more petit fools.
I'm going to go over to that table and see if any of them color match at all.
Color match to what?
Like something blue or silver for Froseth, purple for Darvin, that kind of thing.
Not so much the blue. Closest you can get is a sort of a sparkly off-white. You can very definitely get purple. Green can be done. Remy's colors are harder.
I'm gonna do my best to find him.
There's a very dark chocolate thing, which is as close to the black of most of her armor as you're gonna get.
And that's what I grab. And I've just brought this whole assortment over, either in stages as necessary, or however it's possible to bring it.
And so basically, you have these plates of color-coordinated, tiny, really intricately iced cakes. I mean, really tiny, about, nibble-sized.
And I also made sure to get one for Flitty.
Thank you. Of course, for Flitty, it's about the size of a birthday cake, so... No.
it's like it's wide-eyed. Like,
Guys,
oh my God.
So Darvin has been writing here a little bit, and I pause in mid-sentence. I'm trying to figure out how to put the bit about Alice. I caused Alice to be brought to the attention of Tiamat when I tried to reassure her that Governor Bendis could help. She didn't believe me. And so what? I'm just trying to figure out how to put that part. Like when we were like, we brought her to the attention of Tiamat, and when we tried to tell her, no, the governor can help, she didn't.
And from directly behind Darvin, because apparently Alice, on top of everything else, is stealthy, you could just say, in regards to Alice, why don't you let her tell you herself?
At which
That's
point
what we're hoping to do.
I practically jump like 3 feet. I'm just like,
Remember, my parents were criminals. Also, Remy, from what you said earlier, the company is something, but remember, there are some people in Belarus that probably heard some things about me from my parents. I don't want them to bring the knives out. I've got a god after me. I don't need half of what criminal element Belarus has.
Oh boy.
I did tell you about this.
It's a fair point.
I have returned the cake for Alice.
You wouldn't think a Goliath could ice cakes like this. Nope.
After
I'm grinning at the Goliath and going, "You are awesome!"
Hey, tilts ahead and then just...
at which point I'm like, I reached it for my, I go back to reach for my viol, and that's when I go, wait, where did my viol wind up? Oh, thank you. And I'll take it and put it in my, and I'll hold it. I'm actually less surprised than you think. A really, 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 well, not as big, but large person had made this too. So yeah, you'd be surprised.
Oh, it's not actually the size. It's more the bloodline. You know, I'm supposed to be a tiny bit celestial, and first that's descended from like dragons, and then there's tieflings. Well, stone giant.
Oh,
They're not usually
okay.
given to icing
Gotcha.
tiny cakes.
Okay, I understand.
They're also giant is the word.
Yeah, but the whole point I was making was to get away from the big
cultural
thing.
Yeah, cultural. More so. Fair point. Apologies.
There's there's different kinds of
Giant? Yeah.
Huh.
Some are actually pretty decent if you don't invade their territory or whatever. Some
it makes sense, Hazel. There's different kinds of dragons, so I figured, giant, there's probably different kinds of giants.
Yeah, some are
Why not?
Some are really nasty, some not so much. They tend to be less personal than the nicer dragons tend to be, though.
Also makes sense.
Alice, there was concern about whether or not you would be able to go tomorrow.
Yeah, I was kind of preying on that kind of thing, and I was actually preying on a lot of stuff, and basically thinking this whole thing that you guys are into is this end of the world shit. Lowering her voice. And this stuff to do with me is this massive distraction from that now. Okay, I do know how it happened, but I'm not going to go into it. And I'm thinking maybe it'd be better if I just went back up north.
I'm still going to try to
Would not making any more demands of her help your case at all?
I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt, but at the same time, it's not
Okay,
right.
somebody who's not him answer the question with a yes or no.
I'm looking at Froseth.
And I'm looking at Remy.
Remy's thinking very hard.
Wisdom check from Remy and Froseth, apparently.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at Hazel.
Who's looking at Remy.
Yeah.
19.
5.
Remy is basically, no! No, this is not happening! And Froseth is like, if we weren't actually having to, if all Darvin had to say was, we accept the punishment that, and whatever punishment and recompense you see fit, and that was the end of it, it would probably help, because he's already been concerned about asking things of someone who's that pissed off with them. Or him, more to the point. So, Remy doesn't really want to consider it. Froseth, yes. Yes, it would help.
I think the thing is that
That's
you
not even...
happened
This isn't...
upon us. But, you've been looking for a purpose, and we have a very specific purpose that has been granted to us, and you've been immensely helpful in moving on with that.
I asked for a yes or no answer. Froseth?
Yes, it would help.
The world is more important than what I am or am not doing in it. There's not gonna be a world to hunt in if you guys fuck around.
Well, yes, I think I meant that purpose could be helping us to prevent that.
Is this another asking me to join the party?
Sounds like it.
Oh, for Christ.
It's an option, but not necessarily, depending on how things go
Look.
with them.
I trust the Dragonborn. You guys are going up against what you're going up against. And from what I could tell from Darvin's story, that's not even the worst thing you're going up against eventually. You need these people's help. You can't afford to piss them off any more than you have already. You're sweet. You are. And you did a lot for me. Okay, it didn't work out so great. And I guess I did a lot for you, but let me do this one last thing for you. Let me make it a little easier.
And I mean, I did say that I was going to pay heed to wiser counsel, and well, sorry, Froseth, you're it. So, I mean,
I don't like this being the answer, just to be clear.
I mean, but you're right, though. You are absolutely right, and I can't. I mean, and like I said, it may not be right, and it certainly isn't, but
We don't have a right answer.
we really don't. But I mean, you are correct in that, in answer to the question, would it help? Yes, you are absolutely correct. It would. Unfortunately, I have to agree. It would. You are correct. You are right. I don't feel it right. It's not just, but like Alice said, we do have there are much bigger concerns. I hate so much the idea of having to think like that, but we don't have much choice. Alice, I am truly sorry. I will never be able to make this up to you.
Probably not, because given what and who is pissed at me, and this being, travel around is kind of dangerous, and if there's as much of a communication as there seems to be from a group that names themselves that way, I don't know how any of the others, whoever's up north, for example, is going to feel about me. Even if I get there, the trip's dangerous enough as it is, but then there's what's pissed off at me. But then I thought about it, and I prayed on it, and there was some panic about family and things, and if she has to focus on me for even a day, that's a day not focused on finding a house full of innocent kids.
I am getting up.
Don't sit your ass back down.
Complying immediately.
Don't mistake me. This is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to say. I've wanted this for a very long time. And I'm not going to get it. I think I've come to terms with it. At least I've stopped grasping at straws about it. But for the love of Baylor, let me do this thing that I know is probably getting on to a self-sacrifice thing with a certain amount of dignity. Given where I've been working the last little while, I don't have a terrible lot of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my things together and soonest begun, And hey, Remy? Even if it hadn't been if it hadn't been a pay thing, I would have gone for you, not the other way around. Gets up and walks out to where she keeps her stuff.
I know I overdid it with the wine, but part of me wants to have a drink in her honor. I think we just might have met somebody who's, she's certainly better than me.
And Flitty is sort of going, are we hurting for money?
No.
Could we at least pay our travel expenses?
That's brilliant.
Which she let
Yeah.
us.
Well,
Leave it with the concierge man.
I was. That's exactly. I was about to. Thank you, Flitty. I was about to say exactly that because she's going to have to talk to him first before she goes. I immediately just get up and walk right over to him.
And this has been an interesting day to be watching you.
Yeah.
Have you lost me an employee? And I knew you were going to do so, but I expected it to be under happier circumstances.
So did we, but she's going to want to travel, obviously, and I want to cover what travel expenses I can. She's mentioned wanting to go north.
Well, there are airships. It would depend on which one she... A great deal depends on what kind of route she is taking.
Okay.
The most expensive of them is the safest, as you might imagine, is 20 platinum, but it does involve a full day's stay in the next province up, which she would probably appreciate doing because that is where the Heavens Ward is, and given that I understand she has found out some things, she might appreciate the time. Honestly, from what I have been able to tell from admittedly eavesdropping, but this is my place and I will know what goes on in it,
That's fair.
you and your people have effectively probably got her killed. Anything you can do to ensure that that death is delayed for as long as possible, I would hope that you are decent enough adventurers to do so.
Exactly. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna...
Without even going, Froseth gets up 20 platinum from the party fund and an extra
Sorry.
And an extra what? You broke up.
Yeah.
extra 10 gold on top.
Okay. Thank you, Froseth.
At which point, I feel this is a useful trick, is it not? Because you guys have never even figured it out.
Wait, what?
But the only way Emil could eavesdrop on you guys is being a lip reader himself.
He's got the same
what?
speed.
I will ensure that this is slipped into her things before anyone can argue.
Thank you. This is why I came to you.
Yes, and keep in mind that the fact that she is fond of you, admittedly mostly the dragonborn and the two women that she is fond of, is the only reason I do not kick you out. That and you have been kicked enough by your own actions, and you probably do not need the guilt of inconveniencing the rest of your party even more. You won't learn if somebody does not give you a break.
Turn and go away. Very quickly away.
He gives Froseth a little nod.
I have
That's bad.
no idea. I have no idea what. Okay. Actually, hold that thought. I'm gonna make a wisdom check just to see if I
Actually,
actually do manage to put two and two together.
Yeah, I suppose that would work.
Would that be wisdom?
Yeah.
Or would that be?
Actually, it'd probably be intelligence. Thinking about it,
Oh, okay. I'll try that instead.
because that's more.
I mean, the only other thing I can think it might be would any of the skills I have actually cover that? Investigation or
Possibly perception.
No, perception would be spotting him do it. Intelligence is putting together a whole bunch of clues.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I wanted to
and
check.
he need part of that. The reason it's not investigation is because the clues aren't all out in front of him right now.
Right.
It's down to what he remembers.
Gotcha. Cool. That's what I wanted to clarify. 21! I finally figured it out! Now I just sit down and it just kind of tick. Oh. Froseth, you sneaky son of a dragon. To be
fair? You never asked. You are absolutely
And
correct.
none of the
never
rest
did.
of you have any of the fuck
And
idea.
that is eminently fair. No, and I'm deliberately not saying it. I'm deliberately not saying it. This is me and Frosteth going back and forth. That is fair. I did not, and that's on me. But yeah, keep it up. Awesome.
What?
Not
No,
for me to say.
no, I don't need to know. I do not need. Don't tell me.
Frosteth is awesome. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah, I figured. Do not say anything else.
We
Okay.
already knew that. You need to write the song. And this in Draconic, by the way.
Yet again, Flitty is right.
You need to write an ode to the Dragon Man
Yes, I do.
before Skylar does it for you. She probably done one anyway. Or made
We should
Ramas do it.
We should collaborate.
And I have latched onto Froseth again.
And on that note, we've actually run past normal break time. Because this has apparently been just the mood lift everybody's needed.
Yeah.
And we'll take our break now, and when we come back, we'll cover any last minute things anyone wants to do. And then we will proceed to the following day.
Dun dun dun. Oh, stop it.
Well, it could be worse. It could be dum 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 da dum.
Oh god. Oh god. Now I'm picturing a dragon in Darth Vader armor.
And we're back. They've lightened the mood somewhat, although I think Darvin is still probably kicking himself over the sheer nobility of one former lady of negotiable virtue. And you said there was one last thing before we kick to morning.
Before we turn in, I'm going to I'm dipping into my personal gold stash. I'm walking up to Marta, and I'm going to ask her if she's available to help me basically have a few hours to forget the last couple of days
Is this
in
a
preparation for tomorrow.
happy ending situation?
Yes.
Yes, there is fun with massage oils on a number of levels. But when he gets to his room to sort of go, oh shit, I should probably tidy things up. He opens the door and it's spotless.
Uh,
Nye can explain this when he walks past, because he just sees Darvin stop
Yeah,
in the
I'm just
doorway.
standing there, just gobsmacked, just.
It got taken care of by a certain member of staff that is, the one that with the thing that we need to take care of later.
Oh,
That
right.
that one wandered by and said, "Oh,
Lisa.
yeah, it looks like I need to tidy
Lisa,
up."
that's right. Lisa, yeah. Oh, right, Lisa. Okay. Wow. Ooh,
Tick, 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 ding!
must leave a tip. In which case, feeling more peaceful than I have in quite some time, I just go to sleep.
Yes. Is there anything anyone else wants to do? I will remind Froseth that there have been noises about Hazel in particular wanting to check in on home, and he does have a particularly suited skill set for that.
Yeah, should probably try that.
Okay. So are you going for just looking at home now or warnings?
Um,
Because one would be earth, one would be air.
I need that. Right there.
I think warnings probably at least first.
Okay. I think you're still only at a point at once per day, but
Yeah.
you can move on from there. So, make me a perception check.
Oh boy.
22.
Hot damn.
Air is usually just sound. Now is no different. The first thing he gets is very weak coughing from someone very small. A child, clearly. One of the smaller ones. There's weeping. A fair bit. Followed by sounds of marching feet, unintelligible yelling, combat sounds, screaming. It doesn't seem to be yet, but it's coming. Actually, with that perception check and considering, you'd certainly recognize the coughing at least. Skylar. So Frosa's gonna have a great sleep tonight.
Oh, yeah.
One moment.
Okay, assuming nobody else has anything else they want to do for the evening. So, yeah, you guys reconvene for breakfast. Darvin's looking a fair bit better. Froseth, however, looks like he did not sleep overly well. Still got your 8 hours, still look like shit.
Uh,
Okay.
You don't look well, though you don't look as bad as I did apparently yesterday.
Well, that's not a high bar.
Flitty just
Fair.
curls up around his neck and requests in Draconic, I'm going to stay here because you seem to need comforting. If you could just sort of pass up nibbly bits from time to time, I would be very
Yeah.
grateful. Thank you.
So
Snuggle.
I will explain to everyone the sounds and whatnot from the attempt with the. I guess it'd be scrying. Something close to it.
This is the first time that 3 of you have heard he can do this at will. Nye was the only one who knew.
I'm making a sustained squeaking noise, getting up, out the door.
No, grab her the second.
Okay.
Yeah, both of us just.
Okay. Okay. First, Furseth makes a grapple check.
Grapple.
Well, an attack, I guess, if that's how we're grappling, an unarmed. I mean, he's monk. He should be good at this.
Okay, unarmed attack then. 10.
What's Hazel's armor class?
15?
Nope. Darvin?
What would I? Because I don't actually have unarmed attack listed.
Just roll strength.
Okay. Just a strength check, then I can
Yeah.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
Also 10.
Nope. Hazel is apparently out the door.
Out the door at God's Hall. I already said I was going to be praying the morning away, and I got a far earlier start than I had intended. A little bit of breakfast, gone.
Do we know where she? Wait, did we know where she's going? I mean, last time I saw her get up and run out like that.
She's
was-
probably praying.
Boy, I hope so. And hopefully she doesn't go down any blind alleys like the last time.
There aren't that many blind alleys here, but I can check on her if you promise to look after Mr. Dragon Man and be comforting while I am not his neck warmer.
Understood.
Friendly nuzzle of Furseth and then vroom. Catches up with Hazel in fairly short order and sort of clings to her head. I am keeping an eye on you.
I'm just going to the God's Hall.
I know, but I'm still keeping an eye on you. They are worried about you getting lost again. At least they know that if I'm with you, there's somebody with some sense.
Ah!
Uh,
I love Flitty.
Just sort of wraps himself around Hazel's neck and snuggles in the hair. So that just leaves the 4 of you.
Okay, well, Froseth, one, I had. Did this? You were out of character. You did. You explained you did this deliberately. That was a deliberate
Yes.
prank, not just it came to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was clear because I had no idea. Okay. So, well, one, I had no idea that you could do that just whenever.
It's more recent.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, it's none of my business, but it's handy.
Yeah.
So, yay. On the other, this is
It's
not
not-
going on,
It's not going on now.
but it's imminent.
Potential, likely,
Right.
Do you have any
okay.
idea of how long?
no.
Okay.
Soon.
Soon. Air quotes.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, we're all the way out here. They're all the way out over there. There's literally nothing we can do about it. And if we continue in our efforts, we're going to be putting ourselves in a position to be able to deal with it when, well, we can. I mean, I'm worried. Yes, obviously. Do any of you have any idea if there is anything that we can do?
Can we get a message out somehow?
Would any message that we could potentially send get there in time, though? I mean, okay. I mean, it's worth a shot either way.
That I don't know.
Okay. I mean,
I haven't got anything.
I mean,
Have I?
yeah. I mean, it'd be worth. I agree. Okay, we could at least send a message.
Of course.
Whether or not we'd actually get there in time, I don't know, but it's better than nothing.
Of course, the thing Froseth and Remy in particular will probably remember is that, yeah, it's possible to do that kind of thing with magic, and the best way of doing that might have been to speak to one or two of the governors who can actually use magic if they aren't pissed off with you.
Oh, boy.
That's the big issue.
Well, it depends on how many of them are pissed off with you when Crea Bendis tells them about what Darvin did.
We need to focus on
The
getting
trial.
the poison,
Mm-hmm.
acid, whatever it is.
Well, both.
Froseth, make me a straight intelligence check.
Okay. 4.
You have no the fuck idea. Okay, never mind.
Intelligence is not my strong point.
Actually, to be fair, I think Darvin and Remy could also make the same.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Intelligence.
Just a moment. Still getting used to my new. I have a slightly new set.
20!
Oh well,
Nat
not 20
no
even.
less.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna bother then.
Remy might think, okay, Froseth had another. And Remy's used to this kind of portent shit. They did have a cleric that could do this kind of thing for a little while before Carter pissed him off and made him leave for another company. So she's learned what bits to pick up. Coughing suggests sickness or poison. Froseth mentioned another dragon that the black dragon asshole king was going to be calling in. Gelvray. If they're calling that one in from apparently somewhere fairly close from a tactical perspective, because the king did say that they were in position just waiting for word. That suggests a sneaky bugger. That suggests a green. So it's entirely possible that the go that Tiamat gave was setting the events that Froseth just heard in motion. That's probably what's meant by soon.
Okay. Sure. Relay that.
Thankfully, Hazel's missing that.
Oh, yeah.
Although, given that was a nat 20, there are a couple of people who've very much stood in the Cupcake Coterie's way. One is obviously the Seneschal. The other, she doesn't know about firsthand, but Hazel keeps swearing about fucking Felicia.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're going to ask about Felicia, but
Just gonna give Darvin a look at Felicia. That
Oh, yeah. Felicia was the furniture
no,
seller.
leather.
Or was it furniture?
Leather
Leather
worker.
goods. That's right. Sorry.
She was the tanner.
Leather good. Yeah, the tanner in Goldendale, who big mouth, big mouth, and caused some hassle with the seneschal and the governor.
She got Twilly arrested.
And I was getting to that, and ended up getting Twilly arrested. We had to then do a task to get her out. We did, and that actually directly led to the whole okay, well, maybe people that use magic aren't so bad decree that the king put down, or the baron put down, excuse me.
She was never happy about that, by the way.
Okay.
And yeah, and Felicia, right when that happened, you ever seen somebody bite into something that's just like not just sour but also rotten? She had that kind of a face for days. I thought it was going to stick that way. It might have, actually. But yeah, that's who that was. Okay. Well, again, we don't. There's nothing we can actively do from here that I can think of. Froseth, do you have any ideas? Nye, Remy, I mean, I don't know what we can do.
Okay.
Unless we can get someone to send a magic message of some type.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, yeah, that's what I meant by send a message. Okay, but okay. Well, I mean,
What do we put in there?
well,
Get out? Run away? Hide?
Oh, of course he doesn't know because you've got Darvin and Furseth, and to a lesser extent Remy, laughing at the idea of Twilly, and he should know, but wisdom not his strong point. Probably didn't remember.
Nye, have you ever? Well, you were kind of. Hasn't that song been played in Nye's presence recently, like since? I thought somebody had played it.
Probably, but that doesn't mean he remembers.
Right. Well, I just wanted to make certain that if I reference, I can. Okay. I don't know if you remember Nye, but the Quick Flight
Diminutives.
song, the Quick Flight Diminutives, very highly popular song that you might have heard at some point fairly recently. That's when I lean in. That's Twilly and Miranda. So, yeah.
Oh.
Twilly got arrested because Twilly can do magic. And Miranda was Rand back in the day. And they haven't lost their skills. So yeah. If we can get them a warning, they'll know what to do. We just got to get them a warning somehow. And magic message definitely sounds like the best way to do it. The only people I know of capable of doing that, we've potentially pissed off.
We could take a look around the city and see if someone else knows that kind of skill.
Yeah.
Speaking of said messages, I am currently essentially praying to Paylor, warn family any way possible.
Which is probably why, as Remy is talking about, we could look around the city. You were in an alley full of magic shops! Just saying.
Was that said by anybody? Because Darvin's like...
Well, it's almost like Tritherian is going, look, I don't really feel like taking calls from Paylor right now. Where did you buy the diamond, you silly bint?
Remy gets up. Let's go
And
for a walk.
apparently walks out.
just not gonna explain it.
I'm just gonna see if they follow.
It's the religious
Process
people.
has done it to himself. He's gonna follow. He knows.
okay, well, Froseth is going. Okay. I'm following your lead on this one.
And I?
Is sitting at the table a moment, takes one last bite of breakfast, I miss my forest.
Oh my god. Okay, so what I'm hearing is we need to get you a green shirt that just says "I miss my forest."
And goes along after the group.
Okay, so where is Remy leading the group?
To the place where they got the diamonds. That was a
Yeah, so
very
it,
specific.
it's probably Froseth, given the perceptive, that notices first that they're heading to the alley near the Gods Hall that had all the magical bits and pieces.
Ah.
Darvin probably figures it out next. Nye from
Mhm.
behind is like, I'm still not sure where we're going, but I haven't since I joined these people.
These odd but lovable non-forest people.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Well, at least this time I didn't screw anybody over by being an idiot.
You are very familiar with the taste of your own shoes.
Yeah, that's an entirely different thing, though. Although Hazel does get Flitty, who's been alternately sitting on her head and flying around looking out the windows, hopping up and down on top of her head. They're going to the magic alley! They're going to the magic alley! They're going to the magic alley!
Who's going?
My pets!
Oh,
Come on!
okay. I'm closing out the prayers as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, there's a general feeling of acceptance of the hurried closing of prayer, so you're okay. And Hazel,
Yeah,
Hazel,
the various other priests are not looking at me like, "What are you?"
no, this place is full of adventurers.
So yeah,
yeah,
out the door.
and all of a sudden you're joined by a ballistic Hazel with a Flitty on her head.
Just blur green on top. Just
Well, green and blue, because you've got Flitty
Oh,
clinging
right.
to her hair.
What you doing?
Hey, hi there.
Hi, Hazel.
I was looking out the windows, and there you were.
So, what you doing?
Looking for a magical messenger.
Oh, good.
It's just like Paylor does answer prayers.
Making holy gestures and shit. Just doing the whole thing. Just on
Well,
the spot.
for that kind of devotion thing, it usually is just clutch symbol and just thank you.
Yeah, it's halfway between that and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit thing.
They don't really have that here. It's not, despite how amusing it is. There aren't very many flaily faiths in D&D. I'm sorry.
Either
Daily
way,
faiths. I love it.
you see Hazel doing her
Cling.
thing.
In true Hazel fashion. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yep.
So, perception check from y'all.
Okay.
Oh no, perception. That's what I'm bad at.
17.
7.
Well, that actually kind of makes
13.
sense. First, I wouldn't
7.
know,
14.
Right.
Hazel, being Hazel and probably having learned more than she expected to from hovering over Clarity's shoulder in glomp hugs half the time, does notice this tiny little hole in the wall between the weird magical pet shop and some place that Clarity would love because it just seems to be almost entirely made of book, which just has mail, M-A-I-L, written over the door. Really narrow door. Froseth's gonna have to squish a little bit.
I am beelining.
And in Hazel goes to this,
Wait, where? And then,
and then
like,
that's
look
when
in
you'd see the sign.
look in the direction, be like, oh, damn.
And
how the-
it's hard to spot really. It's one of those things you have to know is there.
Yeah, so I like squint and be like, oh, hey, check it out.
Yeah, Remy and Nye didn't have quite that amount of trouble. Feroseth was actually looking for something he might fit a little more comfortably, and it was just, oh.
I am all but diving into this shop.
Sorry, Froseth.
Well, the Hazel, make me a dex save.
Mm,
14.
Hazel is on the floor, covered by blink dogs.
What the heck are those?
Actually, you'd know blink dogs better than most. Your people would have had them as pets.
Oh, those!
And they look at Nye and they perk up, and all of a sudden, blink, 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 and they don't knock him over. They're just, one's
I
in
have
his...
a double.
Yeah, you have a double arm full of blink dogs, and the others are gambling around your feet.
And I walk in to see this, and I'm just going, Clarity would love this.
And they're licking his face.
Ew!
Yeah, and now he
I'll
is...
try to catch. Can I try to catch like? Wait, no, hold, night, wait.
At this stage, I'm going to say no, just because
Okay.
Blink dogs. He reaches out, but he's a little bit worried about what's going to happen with the dogs, and if he steps forward, he might step on one. But they all blink, and all of a sudden, they're all doing the face licky thing on Nye.
We've lost Nye.
I'm on my back covered in dogs, aren't I?
Yep.
And I'm
Cool!
And this
Tell me that was in character.
Yeah, I mean, this actually kicks off a memory from childhood. You and your cousin used to love running around after the neighborhood blink dogs.
I am slowly peeling myself off the floor after having gotten by teleporting doggos.
Apparently, we're in the right place.
There is a narrow counter at the end of this relatively narrow room. Behind that counter is an elf, starting to show age a bit. The standard dark skin and dark hair of this region. Hello to you. They do not see much in the way of those of elven blood. Generally, most of the elves we have passing through here have their own ways of sending messages home. So, you rushed in quite the hurry. What might we do for you?
Need to send a message home. Like, really, really, vitally important, scary things. Froseth, help!
Froseth is squishing his way in and is now roadblocked by Nye and blink dogs. I mean, it opens out a little bit, but most of it is like... I mean, he could fit through comfortably if he could get past the blink dog roadblock.
Good doggies. Go to. Excuse me. What's your name?
There's a complicated series of mostly vowel.
Go to master. Go to master.
Just call me Avin. And then whistles for the dogs, and blink, they're all sitting in perfect, attentive dog behind the counter.
I'll help Nye stand back up.
I'm not even standing. I'm just kind of rolling.
Yeah, so
Okay, I'll
so
help Nye roll
first,
up then.
first it can get past if he rolls it. If Nye rolls
Oh.
out of the way of the immediate corridor. So yeah, you've had Furseth help, and then the Blink Dog menagerie moving. You've never seen Blink Dogs before. Those are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm somewhat distracted by doggos after Rosette's help.
You all right, Nye?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
Flitty goes and sort of curls up around Nye's neck, probably awkwardly, since as far as I know, he's still on the floor.
Still what? You
On
broke
the
up a little.
floor.
Ah.
Are they anything like Flitty? Looking back between dogs and Flitty.
No, I'm more dragon. They're more fae.
Oh,
Mm.
It looks you have a fairy dragon, and you need me to send a message. This must be very far away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
another country.
Narrow it down for me, if you will.
Baronsphere, Goldendale.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That might be difficult.
He's one person there, originally from Belarus. Rosette!
I should warn that is notoriously difficult for those not in the know to send or scry anything to Goldendale.
Define in the know.
I cannot. There are some people who can, and there are many who cannot.
Mm.
At least not easily.
I mean, of all the people there who would know things, you'd think. Looks
That-
to Hazel.
Going completely ashen, starting to vibrate.
Why do you think this is bad thing? There are many reasons that messages may not get through. It sometimes is to keep out bad scrying.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes keep out good scrying, but anyway. Okay. Who might?
As I say,
just-
I can still do it,
Hmm.
but it will be a little bit longer than standard instant messaging, as it were, and will also be rather costly because I will be having to send numerous blinkings.
Ah.
Still basically vibrating and looking like panic.
This one is distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady,
Hazel.
could you
Flies and lands around Hazel's neck. Snuggle.
Hazel, breathe. We'll figure it out.
Falling down.
Chill.
Mostly.
nothing's gonna go that wrong in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, chill. And he said he could do it. It just might be expensive and take a minute.
Well,
Um,
is simply because blink dogs, they cannot blink that far in general.
Right.
Even some of the larger ones that I have. So what will be necessitated is I have a teleportation circle to a friend in, well, many of the provinces, but the one that I would want is Egref. Then they would have to speak to a colleague who has access to emergency teleport circle in Grace Inn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this would be having to send Blink Dog,
Gotcha.
who is trained to blink in the distances, and get Blink Dog across border with note.
Right. A ballpark. Excuse me. Sorry, not ballpark. Estimated. How long would that take,
2 days.
guys?
Doing it, definitely doing it.
Okay.
It is better than the 2 weeks it would take at the regular speeds for.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, once you get across the border and into Baronsphere, is very difficult for any kind of speedy travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're aware. um. So
How much is that?
That is. Let me calculate things a little. 2 platinum total.
for us, Seth.
Yeah. Takes out 2 platinum.
Okay.
Takes out one of the bigger blink dogs. You are ready for an adventure, are you not?
Then I'll pull out
He actually provides
the
parchment.
paper and whatnot. Okay.
Decent parchment, decent ink. It must to be careful because I mean we do have a collar that keeps the message nominally safe, but is blink dogs.
Understood. And so I will. Which one of us wants to do the writing?
I will leave that to someone better at words than me.
Well, you and I'll.
You need to tell them everything.
You
Every
realize
saw, heard, figured out.
you realize that it is
short.
2 platinum per bit of paper.
So it's got to be short.
I mean
Can you? I'm looking at everyone. Can this all go onto one paper?
All we need to tell
Just
them.
focus on the most important bits.
Correct.
That's what I'm
Thing.
trying to ask.
Yes.
Get out.
And
I'm freaked out right now.
they don't need to get if we're talking about the mom lady and the mama lady,
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to get out. They just need to know that bad might be coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. I mean, if you guys know what kind of bad, that helps.
So,
Okay,
threat,
Hazel.
thing, prepare defenses.
We got it.
Basically, let's get out more details on what.
Flitty actually rummages through one of the non-bags of holding bags, drags out one of his cookies and shoves it in Hazel's mouth.
Thank you, Flitty. Froseth. How about you and I? We sit down. We go back over what you know and try to work up a brief synopsis. And so we'll, if you'll give me just a moment, we're gonna. It's a little cramped for my friend here, so we're gonna go. We'll step right outside, and write what we need to send, and then I'll bring it right back. Is that okay?
Very well.
Thank you. Well, because I'm taking the paper with me, and I'm taking the.
Yes, the paper is simply paper. The pen will return to me if you take it too far.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent. I wanted to make sure. Okay. So yeah, Froseth and I will we'll step outside. You guys, if you want to, if you want to, I guess, you want to pet the dogs more? I guess I don't know. Is that okay?
Yeah, the blink dogs are actually up on their hind paws with their forepaws on the counter, looking at Nye like, hello.
Nye, apparently you made some new friends. If you want to just wait here, is that okay?
I'm gonna drag myself up to a sitting position, kind of put my back against the shelf or whatnot.
Wall. There are walls.
I has a lap.
Poof. Blink dogs.
Pile.
I'm sorry. You said your name was Avin?
Oven is probably
Oven,
the
okay.
closest anybody can come to my name.
Fair enough. Well, if it's okay with you, it looks like Nai's gonna wait here and
That is fine. Yes.
okay. Hazel,
Please
Remy.
stop over explaining things.
Oh, sorry. What do you want to do?
Do what you need to do. They will make their own decisions.
Okay, let's go, Frosa.
Yeah.
And so, and we'll step outside, write up a summary of the vision and explaining about the name and of the was it Gelfrey.
You've got as far as, you know, maybe in danger from possibly Green Dragon before you realize you're not going to have anywhere near the amount of room you need for that.
Right. Okay. So I'll just leave it at possible danger, Green Dragon.
I feel it's important to mention Skylar's cough and the marching sounds.
Okay. Marching
Not the
and
name.
Skylar coughing. Yeah, we can just
Well,
leave it.
yeah,
Well, then the name doesn't matter if they're going in disguise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no,
So-
specifically Seneschal or Felicia that Remy mentioned.
Mm.
Well, they're already aware of Felicia and the Seneschal, so
well, they're aware of the Seneschal. They're not aware Felicia could potentially be.
they're aware
More
that
than
she's
town
she's an
gossip.
issue.
They're very
Already.
much aware that she's an issue.
Yeah. So I mean, they know Felicia of old.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hazel is probably being kept at least partially calm by a couple of the blink dogs just and Remy gets one that's apparently getting on in years, just blinks onto her feet. Poof.
Remy and the old dogs, huh?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a thing.
Remy will hang around with the dog as she's waiting. She's happy.
So yeah. So once we've got that written, I'm assuming Froseth, I'm assuming Antheus, you don't want to add anything else. That's pretty well.
No.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, we'll come back in and I'll hand the note over and be like, yeah, this is it's ready.
All right then, we will have that sent out at earliest convenience. We'll definitely go out before midday today. We have to time these things according to what the dogs can handle, you understand.
Of course.
But
Thank you.
But it will definitely go out today, so do not worry about it.
Okay. So I guess we're done. We have a thing.
Yeah, as you come out, the various bits of rigmarole and the writing stuff down, you come out of the alley and you note that the sun is getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have a thing.
Yeah, we should probably.
Time to go do thing.
Yeah. Time to go to trial.
Flitty takes up position around Darvin's neck.
I got this.
Appetizer.
Such a sweetie.
I got this. Okay. And I'll start. I mean, we'll start heading to the governor's building.
Charge.
As you head into the into the quiver part of the town and just heading in the direction of the nest, there's new wranglings going on outside the Brass Arrows administration offices. Remember that first group?
With the decorative armor.
No, the first group with the less decorative armor.
Ah,
The one that you passed on your way in the very first time.
Oh yeah, the ones. Okay, yeah, the ones that look like they had a brain.
2 of the 5 are missing. 2 more of them are badly gouged up. It's a healing, but that's gonna scar.
Mm.
And they're looking at what is apparently supplementary paperwork, because apparently they did not succeed in their task.
Yeah.
Do
I
the
just-
injuries look like something I would that could along cure wounds?
At this stage, not so much. It's just stuff that they're gonna have to live with. They've had a long rest since. It's just. It's closing, but it's gonna scar.
Mm-hmm. Just if any of them happen to cross over as I'm walking by, just give them a slow nod, and it's sort of like, sorry, look on my face.
And in the end, you get to the nest. The guards up the front are actually a lot more somber than they had been when they usher you in. Not a word spoken. And you are ushered back into the throne room of Crea Bendis. And those pillars at the edge, the ones with the mirrors facing in,
Mm-hmm.
they're not mirrors anymore.
Mhm.
Each one of them reflects one of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Hjal Fortinbras looks so exasperated. But here Zet, the quiet one, looks disapproving in a way that actually makes Hazel think of Paylor himself's disapproval. Viev Aled looks horribly distraught. And even Calatiel looks serious. Crea Bendis is seated, not lounging, but seated like a queen on her throne. Well, at least you're on time.
Not a word, eyes down, just appropriately. Not supplicatory, but I think you get what I mean.
We are given to understand that the Featherfall girl left this morning. And Flitty from around Darvin's neck pipes up. In Draconic, I know that they're in a lot of trouble. I haven't caused you any trouble, and I'm a dragon working against Tiamat just like you. So, as one dragon to another, I would like to ask Lady Aled if she could maybe please watch over um, the barbarian lady when she gets north. And maybe because she's really a good fighter. I'm really, really good. I watched from inside a bag, and she chopped the thing's head right off. And she would make a really good member of your Governor People Guard. And they're not asking, so we don't have to have it interfering with the punishment thing, because I know that the barbarian lady didn't want that, and nobody here wants that either. So would that be okay, please? They're just looking at this little.
Yeah, I'm trying desperately to keep a straight face, but like I am smiling just a little bit.
I do it to Remy all the time.
Oh, okay. Yep. Deception, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. That's no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely fair. I should have thought of that. My bad. Good thing that's one of my fortes. 15.
Do you know what their stats are? And one of them rolled a nat 20.
Well, there you go. I'm smiling.
At which point you basically get Viev, and surprisingly enough, Bahir looking at Kreia, who just goes, "Well, it's not the accused who is asking. I have no say in this." And Bahir, is the first time you've properly heard him speak. "I will watch for her when she arrives in my domain. That will give you a scrying opportunity, Viev. Oh, of course. Obviously, when we heard about this, we all, for various different reasons, felt horrible about what happened to her, because it wasn't her fault and that one of you is an absolute idiot." I was gonna say, misguided, but in a good cause? Yes, I suppose.
And yeah, I just flinch, like I'm just,
The first thing I have to ask you, given the change in circumstances, whatever is about to happen to you for what you have done, you've still earned your place within the Brass Arrows. Will you accept it, or will you go to your judgment without?
I will accept it,
Step forward.
and I do. I raised my head just enough to look at her when I said I'll accept it, but then put my head back down as I step forward.
She puts one hand on your right upper arm, and that feeling of brand. And then she looks up over your head at Viev, who the rest of you can see gives a little nod. She puts the heel of her left hand on top of Darvin's head, and rabbit. We have had a discussion about this. We have heard the tale of the bunny bard. Once per day, at random times and for random lengths of time, until you have proven yourself to our satisfaction, you will become rabbit.
Wow, out of character. That's amazing. Oh my god, that is amazing.
Perhaps it will be by slaying this upstart king of Baronsphere. Perhaps it will be something different. It will certainly be a step along your road. Do not worry, it will not be until you have slain Tiamat, if you manage to get that far. Believe me, I wanted to simply eat you, but I did not want to eat the rest of them. I did not want to eat the adorable, if slightly flaily little bard thing. I certainly did not want to eat Viev's many great grandnephew, because she would never let me hear the end of it. I did not want to eat the sensible paladin, because Bihal would probably be cross with me, and he's cross enough as it is. Looks at you, I could take or leave.
I thank you very much for choosing leave.
I did not have that much choice. You are one of these people now. So, I imagine that there were great speeches. Does anyone want to make one at this point? Or is the minor inconvenience of occasionally having your bard be a rabbit sufficient? Now go forth and hunt as brass arrows. Go and find your amphisbena and whatever else you need, and get out of my province. You may come back, but not for a while. I could duel with a break from some of your faces, even when they are bunny.
The whole time, even as a bunny, it's ears way down, just
It's just
like if a bunny could be somber, I'm actually managing.
maximum respect, bunny.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's, you do get heel going. I wanted him turned into a begonia. I got overruled. And Calatiel finally breaking into a spell, but it was just so funny. Look. And Viev, it was the kindest thing I could think to do. Behirzet's only addition to this was, it has been a punishment for disrespect before. It is just. This time it is actually just, because as I understand it, it was the fault of the cleric. Which reminds me, Bahamut is a god of justice, much as your own. You never paid for that. Points at Hazel. Rabbit.
That's entirely fair. I am jealous. And also doing the maximum respect rabbit thing. I've been doing the maximum respect thing since I walked in.
This one only for 1 hour, only today. This one, long-term curse. If Cleric Bunny tries to remove it, Bard becomes permanent cockroach. And don't try damaging the rabbit to get the Bard back sooner. He'll die. I don't care what charms he has on him, he will die. He is effectively a bunny right now. Viev looking very sheepish. I'm very good at what I do. Now get out of my throne room. You may partake of the amenities of the quiver, but I would prefer that you stay in the Tipsy Pixie because I don't really want you on my territory until you fix this. Take your bunnies and go.
I'll pick up both the bunnies.
Out of
I'm
character, that's
staying
going to be the
as
title
still
of
as
this
possible.
episode, isn't it?
I am not moving. I'm just stock
Sorry,
still.
what is going to be the title of this?
Cupcake Coterie versus Take Your Bunnies and Go.
No, actually, it's going to be Cupcake Coterie versus Poetic Justice. I don't know what the title I'll use for YouTube will be yet. I will come up with something. Okay, so you are leaving the throne room. Unfortunately, with most of your grand speeches left unsaid, and Froseth has handfuls of bunny.
Just before I leave, I'm going to turn on my heel, still looking down, and just execute a bow. Bow, whatever.
Bow.
And turn and leave again.
You hear from the one that actually Nye doesn't have names for any of them, but the one you guys recognize as Calatiel going, I like this one. He rides with this silly. Behir is just Cal, really. Well, somebody has to be a little less serious in this group, yes? I look forward to when they come for their bottle of lightning. There will be riddles. And he might turn into a bunny in the middle of the riddling. And on that note, the door shuts.
Oh my god, I love Cal! Cal is amazing!
Of course, Nye doesn't really understand any of this.
All I heard was the word silly.
Yeah, so you have exited the nest with arms full of, with Froseth with hands full of bunny.
I'm just trying not to cause any problems for Froseth's carrying.
Same. I'm just stock still.
Determined to be convenient.
Because I have absolutely no idea how long I'm stuck like this. So
you get,
I just know it's less than a day because I have to be able to change back so I can change again the next day.
You lucked out. 1 hour. So you'll change back around the same time as Hazel. But you don't know that yet, so.
Nope.
You
I have absolutely no clue.
You get Flitty sort of sitting on Frosto's shoulder going, at least we took care of the Alice lady?
Yeah.
Funny nodding.
Draconic.
Thank you.
Can't speak. Just sitting there.
Mm.
Is
No-
Naya
no,
gonna
it's
ask
sort
for
of-
any kind of explanation for this?
I can do literally
I
nothing.
mean, he's just giving Remy and Froseth this really, really, really helpless look.
Actually, I
Well,
think
like, I am
Froseth was the only one who was actually there, and he wasn't even in the vicinity when the bunny shit happened.
He wasn't with the party at that point.
He was told about it
I was told about it. but-
loudly at length by Nora later
I
on.
mean, I did hear the song. I did hear the song where it's like, and I leaned over. I said, "Did that really happen with the bunny and
Yeah.
the thing thrown into the tree?" So I mean, like, I know,
Vaguely.
So you know as much as I do.
and that was, and hopefully they didn't catch me coughing at the appropriateness or the irony or whatever it is. But
Oh, believe me, Callatail at least caught it.
I'm just giving the other two still bipedal members of the party. It's sort of like really, really helpless. I just realized how deeply over my head I'm in. Look, I thought I knew before, but now I'm really, really, really sure.
Oh my god, he's Arcaduceus.
He kind of is, actually, yeah.
So fish out of water, it's great.
Is there going to be any conversation between you three for the next hour?
And maybe we just take our bunnies back to the Tipsy Pixie and
Yeah, that's all
And-
Remy
and-
wants to do, right?
and hope there's no house policy about bringing pets.
You do get Emil going, well, what happened to the bard and the cleric? Oh no. How long? Is this standard polymorph or?
It was not exactly explained to us.
To be fair, Froseth would probably understand. Hazel, yes. Darvin, no.
Yeah, but yeah. Hazel, yes, but the bard.
As he holds up the bunnies in
Inappropriateness.
this one, yes, this one, no.
Yeah, Hazel has actually turned into this really pretty little butterscotch colored bunny. The really tiny little pointy ears. So quite young bunny. Darvin's turned into more of a lop.
That's appropriate.
You're muted.
Or something.
When he holds me up in bunny form, I just kind of try to stand up just a little bit and kind of the bunny equivalent of.
I can just see your ears doing that.
No, it's the front paws. It's the tiny little front paws. Just.
They don't really bend that way is the problem.
Yeah, I know. So it's
Yeah.
sort of like.
That most go.
In which Nye is probably right. It's probably more the ears. Remember,
Or
we
like
have a
one
very
ear up when
we have a very specific set of joints. It occurs if you do not know when they are going to change back. You might want to put them down, please, on a stool. I do
It's
not want
probably a
them
good
turning
idea.
back human on a table.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
we can always take them upstairs and put them to beds.
You have not. You would have to book beds and nothing. How long are you staying? With, I mean, you are brass arrows now. You do not. Not that we are unhappy for your custom.
How does
Well, I think we're heading out into the wilds again very soon.
Just so I know how long I need to hold specific rooms. Are you single rooming again tonight?
No.
I am attempting to finally get put down somewhere. Like, I'm a little struggling.
He's a bunny and he's still leading the party.
So Hazel's squirming.
I pull out a stool and
Yeah. Given the walk, the
Yeah.
conversation, and the rest of it, at around that point, oh god, he's still holding Darvin.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the floor.
Yep. Hazel's been put down on a stool, and she turns back about 40 seconds after Darvin. Darvin changes back first this time, so Froseth, how about you make me a dex save?
Okay.
oh no.
10.
Can I make it to the floor before I turn back?
They've already
You're in
put
a
you. They've already put you down. You're
Yeah,
okay.
no, but I mean, they put me on a stool. I'm trying to figure out if I can get to the floor from the stool.
Give me a minute. You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage to the arm as Darvin turns back to human, and you're essentially trying to hold Darvin by the front and just crunch. Something in your shoulder goes kunk. Hazel takes 1 point of fall damage from the stool, but still fine. And it's a minute of okay, I'm on the floor. Now what? Poink back to human, and the stool goes flying.
I'm gonna go collect the stool.
Are you all right? I am not
No.
talking to you.
What?
No,
Oh.
okay, no, it's Froseth's shoulder
Yeah.
that's injured.
Oh.
You just sort of face planted
Oh, okay.
because he
I'm
was
checking both of them.
he was holding a rabbit and then he was holding a full-grown human male.
Okay.
Checking both, picking up Darvin, walking over to Froseth, attempting to set shoulder back and then cure wounds.
Okay, roll me cure wounds. I think I'll assume the shoulder will be more or less okay.
Ten.
Okay, she's knitted the shoulder back. It's gonna sting for a little bit, but you can move it. You're good.
Thank you, Hazel.
So why?
Happy to help.
So there is not going to be any more bunny?
Not from me.
Not
It's
from her.
complicated.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
That's right.
because you were saying that. I do not want to know why someone cursed you this way. I have no wish to know. Please just tell me what room arrangements you would like. And I will see if I can put together for you, or get our kitchen staff to put together for you some kind of salad or similar. I do not know how to handle polymorph. Ben, I'm getting the fan again. Don't worry, we're nearly signing off for the day. So, okay, Hazel and Darvin are back to human.
Guess I better get used to that. It's better than the alternative. At least I'm still alive.
I'm not an appetizer.
No, you're not.
I didn't want to try to tell you what to do about the Alisay lady, but I thought that maybe if you didn't want to ask them for favors, I could appeal to the draconic thing.
That was brilliant, and again, you're wonderful.
Well, you were sad, and I liked the barbarian lady. She couldn't talk to me, but she was nice.
Yeah.
Very. playing. Very glances at Remy.
Thank you.
As a glimpse up to Remy. I know you can't talk to me, but I wanted to do something nice for you. It's hard to know what you count as something nice for you. So I did that for you as well as for the Alice lady. 'Cause I
Kirby
like you.
just nods. Yes, thank you.
Somebody please translate.
I'll translate.
Yeah, because it depends on what language
Yeah,
that was in.
Probably Draconic, because that's
It's
what-
easiest.
So yeah, Forseth relays that. And there's
I owe you one. Probably more than one.
he just clambers up onto Remy's armored shoulder. Zoomp. Nuzzle.
Have we made it in time for lunch?
We do serve lunch until relatively late in the afternoon. Yes. We are not doing anything overly impressive. It's mostly leftovers from the buffet lunch to be put into sandwich flatbreads and things.
Oh, that sounds great. After everything, do we just want to stop for a minute and just get some food and just
Yes.
chill?
I was thinking we'd head out in the morning, as seems to be usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna have to plan that out.
Do we even know where we're going yet?
Also, we probably
That's
want to
part
check
of the
back.
planning.
We
Oh,
want to
okay.
check back in with what's his name about the message.
Hmm. Well, no, he said it would go out today. It'd take
But
a couple of days. We'll see him. We can see him, when we get back.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because by the time we get back, the message will probably have gotten there, and Oh, that's a good point. I
Need to
wonder.
check with anyone in the
Hmm?
Brass Arrows area to say what we're gonna go get.
Yes, why don't you ask at the Brass Arrows hangouts where you might find
Mhm.
what you... And I think that if this was a thing you were worried about, is it maybe that the mom lady or the mama lady I know the mommy lady can do this. It's a spell. It's called
Mhm.
sending.
Oh yeah.
You have to know the person that it's going
Mhm.
to, which is why the elf man with the blink dogs couldn't do it. And probably what he meant when he said that only people in the know could send things there. So if they really need to get a message back to you,
They'll do it. Good point.
well, it's Mom Lady.
Mhm.
I heard more stories than you did about Mom Lady. Mom Lady knows some spells. She knows this one that's like, you know how you can put up a ward around something? Like the barbarian lady, she made ice armor kind of thing. Except it like that, except it's raw magic, and it has... You have fire, and you have ice, and you have lightning, and you have acid, and you have poison, and you have psychic, and if you get through all of that, you get teleported someplace else.
Do I understand any of this?
Actually, probably switch to Sylvan for that one. Because Furseth has never seemed overly interested in the intricacies of magic.
Have I heard any stories about this sort of thing?
Arcana check from Darvin, Hazel, and Nye.
Oh. Arcana. Oh,
14.
13.
14.
It's a well enough known spell for you to have heard of it from. It's a 9th level spell, guys. It's something that the best of the best abjuration wizards do.
Prismatic wall.
Yeah. Just sort of staring into the middle distance now with a holy shit.
Okay, so guys, let's just get some food and then we'll talk while we eat and figure out what we're gonna do. Because if we do want to head out first thing tomorrow, we're gonna need some info first. So we'll stop. We'll just get us some food and talk and figure out where we're gonna go for the rest of the day into the evening and go from there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Yep.
And on that note, since we have run a little bit over time, but
Mhm.
let's face it, for this one you needed to.
Yeah.
We'll call it a night, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks' time when
Yep.
you prepare for the actual hunt of the Amphisbaena, and maybe, ironically, if you're lucky, a gelatinous cube.